Hello and welcome to What Remains of Us. All I really know about this game is that it's a very dark visual novel. So, yeah, that's all I really know. So let's start a new game. Press enter, usual controls. What pronouns do you prefer? Again, wish I could have a combination. We'll go with this one. Name's lost of time. Give her one. Okay, let's go for our usual naming process. "30 regeneration vials, 10 fire mollies, 5 burn cells, 20 smoke bombs. Tap your fingers against the glass of the second shelf. Getting a bit cloudy now that you've actually looking properly. You have to wipe it clean soon. 1, 5, 7. 11 bottles of snake oil, 15 bottles of disinfectant, 40 whatever those things are, a couple boxes of bandages and such that you're much too lazy to count. Finally, 20 tins of white flower balm. Luckily for you, there's still enough stock for 4 more days until another batch is in order. Well, you're running out of style faster than expected. Which of course means you'll have to spend the rest of the morning grinding herbs again. Grind and scribble down a reminder in your journal. House herbs, make the sale, bottle them and label. Wait, when was Paulo going to pick up his tonic again? Front door chimes open, followed by the soft click of its closing shut. You scoff. Good heavens, do people not know how to read? Sure, you flipped the sign over more than 10 minutes ago, though you suppose it is your own fault for not having locked the damn thing. Ignore it. If it was so important that they came in after closing time, then they very well figure out on their own how exactly to get your attention. You have work to do. Go through the last pages of your journal. The thing at least a few months old now. Edges of the binding are frayed and the paper is littered with stains and creases from your trips out to gather herbs in the forest. Drag your fingers underneath the lines, hoping it will help you decipher your words. Monday, no, that was Pablo's pickup for the poison, not Paulo's. Page flip later and you find out what you're looking for. There, in the absent minor scroll, Saturday, midday. Really should improve your writing.
You?
Hi? You still... No, he shouldn't be here. Was he here? Finger caught scratching and tearing the paper underneath it. Even from here you can hear his breath, hear the will of the world flow through his every inhale and exhale. Crave to place your hand over his chest, feel his lung expand and strain against its hollow chest. Curl your fingers underneath his skin, tear flesh asunder, to all that's left of his damned soul, destined for a world so much greater than this. Yet, here you are all the same. But you lost that right long ago. His breath was never yours. Never even his to begin with. His heart is turned away, being in time with another. His soul is his and his alone. Force yourself to relax, finger on killing and leaving a broken trail in his wake. Raise your head.
What are you doing here?
I mean, I'll work here. Also, I just noticed that you got, well, I'm hoping a strawberry jam on your shirt. Staring at you, staying clear in the quiver of his eyes. There's something else there too, something that you can't quite place. Not right now. Pain clouds whatever is left of your judgment. Do it now. Anger is an easy escape. It opens its doors for you at every turn. Merely steel penis slips into your hand like a honed blade. It hums in search of blood. Hey, what am I doing here?
What am I doing here? What are you doing here? This is my shop. Matter of fact, it's closed if you haven't noticed.
Oh, I actually got a voice too. Nice. You left this color in your voice, which was in between that.
Your what?
Your eyes taken aback, slowly scans the room around you. Realization dawns on him in a cold rush. Satisfaction stirs up your spine. It isn't one, but it's good enough.
I see you've lost the ability to read as well. My name's on the sign out front. Or were you too busy staring at your reflection to notice?
Well, you could have decorated better. You sure you're alright staying in a place like this?
To your hurry, goes into a fit of shoulder-rallying coughs. Blood splatters on his lips and collar. Winces, fingers tensing on his side. Eyes flicker to the movement, taut dying on your tongue. Don't know how you didn't notice it before, but there's blood there. Lots of it. Grimaces at your attention, but doesn't bother to hide the injury.
Did they send you here, errand boy?
You grin out, slowly making your way over to where he is. After all, this is your damn shop. You cannot let some stupid scribe die on your watch. Plus Billy doesn't dean at you with a response. Look up at him. He's staring at your hand. Eyes hazy and face casted in a shadow.
I'll take that as a no then.
Curl your fingers around his hand and gently pry it away from his body. Palm covered in blood, the cuff of his blouse is torn, and where it isn't, it sticks to his torso from sweat.
What did this?
Murmur, your hand hovering over the wound. Some of the blood has dried out, but bright red and angry, and breath hitches in your throat. Black tendrils spread out from the gash. Can't see how far they've gone underneath his clothes, but you look up at him again. Selfie stares back at you, breathing shallow.
You idiot. You should have told me sooner.
Forgive me. I was rather preoccupied.
What? Dying? Shake your head before you can think twice. Point to the doorway leading to your living room.
Sit down on the couch. I'll be with you in a moment.
Purses his lips, you ready yourself for a retort that will have you dragging him by the ear, but nothing comes. His eyes are tender in a way that you're too tired to name, and knows you far more than it ought to. Shakes his head as if to discard the thought and gives you a brief nod.
That couch better not be moldy.
Roll your eyes.
Before I have second thoughts.
Or I dig my hand into your wound. Yeah. Anyway. Well, goddamn. Anyway, time you finish closing up, Salvi is already sprawled out on the couch, sweating up a storm. Some point he's taken off his top and shoved it underneath him. The bleeding has mostly stopped, but the cloth thankfully catches most of the stragglers.
What the hell happened to you?
His eyes are closed and his brows are drawn in sharp discomfort. His breathing didn't forcibly even itself out upon your entry. You would have mistaken him for being asleep. Roll up your sleeves and kneel at his side. Now that he's shirtless, you can better see the damage. It's exactly as you expected. Gash is bright red with spots of black where the poison first spread. Oh shit, he's actually been poisoned. That's no good. He's tried his best to keep breathing even, but now that he's attempted to speak, it comes out strained.
Manonangul attacked me. I was trying to get past the damn swamp by nightfall, but
Shut up.
Sighs you, indignant. Still he remains blessedly silent. Breathing evens out once more.
Reserve your energy. You can tell me more about how you royally fucked up later.
Take out a vial from your hip and stare at the bright green liquid inside. Should you tell him? Fine. I mean, he's already in enough pain, so Flick your attention back to him. He's staring at the vial, but his gaze is far off. You should recognize it, but nothing. You're not sure if he's just tired or if the poison's getting to him. Either way, you don't have time to waste.
Shit.
What?
Brow draw together in confusion.
This will hurt.
Hold the bottle open and pour the contents straight into his injury. He screams. It starts to grind Morse into something guttural and animalistic. It takes everything in you to keep pouring. Your left hand grasps desperately at the back of the sofa. The right finds its way to your shoulder and digs into your flesh. Last drop falls onto his open wound, and you turn your focus to prying his hands off of you before he injures you as well. It takes longer than expected, but soon enough he's clutching at your wrist instead, body writhing like a dying roach. After a minute, the wound begins to bubble, black blobs of liquid rising from the gaping hole and sliding down his torso. It takes 5 minutes before the screaming finally stops. So his eyes are closed. His whole body is covered in sweat, chest heavy and arms still shaking from the residual pain. Make your way to stand up and fetch him a cloth when you realize he's still clutching onto you for dear life. Well, let's stay with him. It's the right thing to do. Need you right now, more than you ever care to admit. Sigh and sit back down. Gently, you pry his trembling hand from your wrist so you can hold it in both of yours. It is rough and calloused. There's much more damage than when you last left him. What happened to him? What happened to them? Sabi was here. Dante shouldn't be far off. And if Dante wasn't here... After a moment, he stops trembling. A few minutes later, his breathing evens out. Place his hand against his chest. Does not wake. Stand up slowly, carefully not to jostle him as you pad your way over to the sink. You mutter a quick incantation that gets the water flowing, and soon enough your basin is filled. You lift it by your hip and grab a clean rag and some soap on your way back. You drop by his side and begin cleaning him off. Skin is pliant underneath your hand. Comes to you then that this is the first time you see him out of these stupid little outfits. He's always been easy on the eye, though you'd rather die than ever say that to his face. Not the first time you understood why Dante kept him by their side for so long, and you know that it won't be your last. By the time you finish wiping him off, taking care not to linger too long, basin is stained dark red with a mixture of his blood and the poison. First you thought you were just imagining it, but further inspection proves you to be right. His marks are gone, both of them. And like a large self-sacrificing imbecile barreling through the door told you anything, it wasn't entirely consensual. Lean back and sigh, the weight of the past hour's events finally sinking in. Press your palms against your eyes. Your own hand is stained red from his blood.
Shit.
Wake up to early morning light and fur against your skin. Sleep is still nestled in your bones, but you blink it away and wipe the crust from your eyes. Try not to wince as last night's events come back in full force. Gentle hands against your skin, tender touches that portray years spent together. Try not to think too hard about it. The wind is still too fresh. Drop your elbow up behind you to try and sit up, only to be met with a searing hot pain bite in your side. Hiss, nearly biting down on your tongue.
Idiot.
You look up to see Red Shirt staring down at you, unimpressed. He rolls her eyes and pushes you back down with a light shove. Hurts at first, but laying down is infinitely better than what you were trying to do.
Don't move.
She sighs,
I
exasperated.
can't believe I have to tell you this. Did traveling with Dante teach you nothing?
You shit at healing. Well, I mean, he's always the type to retort back, so
You're shit at healing.
you say in a way of reply.
Carrie, really?
She rolls her eyes, but follows along with the change of topic.
If a sorcerer can become a scribe, then a witch can become a healer.
She sniffs, eyeing you with a familiar hint of playful disdain. God, she can't believe you're saying this, but you missed her.
Truly.
You grin.
I heard they make awful healers. But they're more likely to turn your hair blue and blow up a building than heal a measly scar.
Well, I've heard they're quite spiteful. They might just poison you again if you piss them off.
You stare at her, at the slight curve of their lips and the warmth in her eyes. 3 months. 3 months since she left you both. Look where you are now.
I missed you.
She stares at you, mouth slightly agape. Feeling just a little bit stupid right now, but you refuse to take it back. She looks away, hands gripping Sova's back tighter. Heart sinks.
Why are you here, Self?
She murmurs, voice barely above a whisper.
I was injured.
He breathed out.
I needed someone to get the poison out.
She stays silent for a moment, lost in thought. Can see the way she works her jaw in preparation.
They left you, didn't they?
She's looking at you now, eyes filled with pity. God, you feel so fucking small.
Otherwise, you would never have ended up in that swamp. They would have caught my scent. You wouldn't have found yourself here. They left you, didn't they?
Vision starts to cloud, preparing for the impending rainfall. It takes everything in you not to lash out.
Let's talk about this another time, shall we?
She stares at you, uncertainty in her eyes.
Please.
Pulls her lips into a thin line.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm really liking the voice acting. Later, the porridge into a bowl, careful not to spill any. Going to have to eat the same food for a few days until Sawi's body fully recuperates. Thankfully, you quite like to taste of porridge, thank you. You look behind you at the couch. His hand peeks out from the bag, tapping idly on some imaginary beat. Realize after a moment what beat it is. Gloved hands, gilded mask, swell of music reverberating in your ears. Sawi leans in, mask off, and laughter caught between his teeth. His half bathed in shadow, the moonlight on the balcony casting him an ethereal glow. Here you can smell his cologne, can practically taste the sweetness of his skin.
You're quite the dancer, witch.
He smiles, teeth bared.
Even better than you, I'd wager.
Now,
He
let's
laughs,
not get
voice
ahead of
devoid of...
ourselves.
Yeah, his voice void of the pain you accrued over the years. A brief moment you forget how he makes you want to stitch his mouth shut.
Well, I'm certainly ahead of you.
Behind you, someone chuckles. Cannot see them from your position, but you know they are there, watching. Okay, they're kinda creepy looking.
Shit.
I felt a breath and it's followed by the clank of a glass marble. Shit, I did horribly.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Dante. You did quite well tonight.
They stepped on my toes 3 times. I'll have to put salve on them in the morning.
But they didn't step on the Countess, did they? They were exquisite on the dance floor, if I do say so myself. Not much of a loss.
Roll your eyes, but concede. Was right after all. As long as the esteemed Eskel, guardian of the sun, sun saint chosen of the Almighty, charmed all the right rich bastards, then the night was in their favor. Just thinking of the title already makes you want to blanch. You know this is needed, but getting supporters will help you in your quest. Sylvia explained it far too many times, and you do actually listen, thank you. Still, you just wish you didn't have to see so many people either to like the next meal. Exotic, as Castilla had murmured. It took everything in you to not hex them on the spot. Sylvie runs his thumb through in soothing circles along your hip, though perceptive to your anger simmering just below the surface.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Footsteps approach from behind, and soon enough a pair of hands join Sylvia's at your hip. Lean back into the solid weight down to his chest and preen as they press a kiss behind your ear. Suppose it is a comfort. Know that at the end of the day, they both return to you. They're yours as much as you are theirs, whatever that entails.
They're so beautiful.
They murmur,
Both
just
of you.
loud. Yeah. You revel in the way Sylvia's hand tense against you. Throat bobs, the red flush of his ears peeking from underneath his hair. Half expect him to leave, to admit that this was far too much for him to handle. He doesn't. Watch his beard breath as he exposes your neck as Dante kisses a trail along your collar. Wait for him to look away. He doesn't. Best not to linger on the memory too long. You were young and stupid and all too daring for your own good. No matter how much you wanted to, it's not as if you can return to what you had.
Food's ready.
You call out.
Is it porridge?
Make your way over to his side and deposit the bowl on a coffee table. So the sunken and his skin still pale from the blood loss. And again, it's hard to tell when someone's skin is sickly grey, even when healthy. Press your hand against his forehead to check his fever, and thankfully you find that's mostly receded by now.
Taking advantage of my illness to touch me, which...
He grins, but it has pained and weak. The adrenaline high of yesternight has faded, leaving him a pathetic mess on the couch.
It's enough to make a grown man blush. That is, if I had any more blood to spare. Unfortunately, I'm rather injured at the moment.
Yeah, I've noticed. You roll your eyes and pick up his bowl. Even in this state, he can't find him in himself to shut up. Skip up a spoonful of porridge and blow it off. Blow to cool it off.
Does it have the little chicken bits in it?
Didn't think chicken and porridge would go well together.
No, those are mine. You're still sick. Best you're getting is a few scallions and some ginger.
That probably sounds a lot better. Purses his lips and thankfully doesn't raise any complaints. Someone who spent over a decade travelling the continent, he sure is a picky bastard. Once the porridge is sufficiently cooled down, you lower the spoon to his lips. Gulls up greedily, entirely too happy to not have to feed himself. You snort. Yeah, let's ask if he's ready to talk about it.
So...
Continues to chew on the porridge you feed him. The moment he swallows.
So what?
Irritates you more than you'd like to admit, but you do... What do you do to wipe that look off his face?
I'm not good at this.
I see we've acquired some self-awareness in the past 3 months.
Roll your eyes and pick up the spoon back up to begin blowing at it. After a while, his grin falls off, attention elsewhere. His hands are stilled, no longer tapping the familiar beat. It's starting to seem like this. Press the spoon to his lips and watch him open his mouth and swallows it.
Are you ready to talk about it?
He asks softly, the same way one speaks to a spooked horse. Choose, his gaze still far off until finally he looks at you.
May as well rip the band-aid off, correct?
He chuckles, the discomfort clearing on his features. For all he speaks of love and heartache, it truly is an art to try and coax from his matter of the heart. It's not something you're particularly good at, despite your years spent together. Most of the time, the three of you just shoved it in a jar and hoped the lid was tight enough to keep it shut.
Take your time. I'll be here.
Glances at you, a soft, genuine smile on his lips. Don't feel as if you deserve it.
Thank you, darling,
For what?
for being here.
You're the one who crawled into my shop looking like a newborn babe. Thank fate, not me.
Laughs, eyes crinkling at the sides.
Still, you didn't have to bother taking me in and cleaning me, feeding me even. You could have just given me the potion and been done with it. Thank you.
Sal.
Start choosing your next words carefully. Do we want to say that you're my friend or you're welcome? Yeah, we'll go with you're welcome. Leave it ambiguous for now.
You're welcome.
You smile, hoping that is enough to tell him is no bother, really. Press the spoon against his mouth, gently nudging his lips apart.
Eat up. You'll have to drink water and some tonics after this.
Do I really have to?
Unless you want to live a rotting corpse, yes.
You're right. I'm too pretty to die.
That's
don't
not
want to
what I
argue?
said.
Yeah, I'm definitely not one to argue, but
Are you sure? Sounded like it to me.
wait until he's halfway done with the bowl before you finally pop in the question.
What did they do to you?
Selby stills, staring at the spoon halfway into his mouth. Place it back in the bowl. Sends you a dirty look, but there's no real bite behind it.
Can't you let a man finish eating first? Besides, are you so sure it's them I'm so bent over about?
Well, the fact that you're avoiding the question.
Because their opinion is the only one you ever seem to care for.
His expression morphs to one of genuine contempt. Brows drawing on his purse. He opens his mouth as if to say something, but decides against it. Looks disappointed somehow.
Well, it's not.
Then what happened?
Remains suspiciously quiet.
Salvi?
Okay, fucking hell, fine. Because of that moronic oversized twit. Happy now?
He blinks slowly, taking his outburst in stride.
And what exactly is it that Dante did this time?
Hey,
So he chokes on air, which quickly devolves into heavy coughs. Rub his shoulders as he lets it all out, before offering him a glass of water. Halfway down, you see that he's begun to cry. Poor sod. Take the cup from him and deposit it on the table. Takes a while for him to regain his bearings, yet the tears remain.
they've had enough of me, apparently. But since you left, they've been so high-strung, I know it's not your fault. I understand your choice, and I don't blame you for it.
Not slowly, opting not to comment.
But gods, they're all my years with them. I know not to expect much, but it's too much. Gods, it's too much.
Raise your hand and place it against his cheek. Leans in, letting you wipe away his tears with your thumb.
It can't be you. You cannot replace the hole you've left in their heart, and I stopped practicing magic for them. You know how pathetic that makes me feel. You stood up against the council, left before they could influence you further, no matter what we thought. And yet, here I am. 5 years without magic, on the verge of being snuffed out of existence for an imbecile who doesn't even want me back. A person who can't even look me in the eye as they tell me to fuck off because I've outlived my usefulness.
Once again, almost hysterical.
This war is over, Selvi. There are no more tales to tell. Go, you are no longer needed here. As if I hadn't willingly walked into this over a decade ago when they summoned me. As if I didn't choose to stay.
Fierce contorts into one of displeasure. Fortunately, you're not surprised. It's entirely in character.
And what am I supposed to say to that? Okay, Dante, thank you for having me in your service for 15 fucking years. It's been a good run. Adios.
Hand clenched and unclenched, like he's itching for a fight.
They took my hand for the first time in what felt like ages. Next thing I know, I was back in that damned forest all those years ago. It is so much harder to break our contracts than it is to create them, and they just... without even telling me.
Tuck his head behind his ear and watched intently as his breathing begins to even out.
I never even told them I loved them.
Closes his eyes and lays back even further into the pillows. Not sure if he realizes it, but he began to nuzzle the back of your hand. Yeah, they're an idiot. Curse your lips, righteous anger simmering in the back of your mind.
They're an idiot. Always has been.
Selby chuckles. He always did give them the benefit of the doubt far more than they deserved.
I'm right, you know.
I do.
15 years together, and this is what they do to you? They don't deserve you.
He stills, cracking both eyes open to look at you. There's an aching smell on his lips that reaches in between your ribs and pulls. Makes you want to do things that you shouldn't do, only to make him feel better, even just for a moment.
If they don't deserve me, who does?
Tongue weighs heavy on your mouth. He's challenging you, you know this. When you don't rise to meet him, you're not sure who's more disappointed. Two days later, you're feeling significantly better than you were before. Richard is nowhere to be seen, probably either gathering herbs again or making potions and salves at the front desk. Though you're not exactly sure why she'd still be doing it so late. It's already past sundown. And you, well, you spent the past 2 days in a delirious state of sleep, not waking up whenever your mind decided to give you a respite from your dreams. Dreamed of them again, 2 of them. Wish you could stay, but there was no point lingering on the past. Lest you end up like the rest of your kind, so blinded by it that they ignore the cruelties of their inaction. And to be honest, you're kind of hungry. Sorry graduated you to solid food, so she wouldn't fault you for a little snack, right? Prop your elbows up behind you, and this time, you can actually finally stand without issue. Legs are unsteady, already used to 3 days of lying down, and understand the infrequent bathroom breaks. You were only half lying the other day, when you said Richard was a shit healer. Press your hand against the bandages, wrapped tenderly around your torso. She's definitely gotten better at it, that's for sure. Smile softly, grazing your fingers against the places she touched.
What are you doing?
Ah. You got caught. No, turn around with your hands raised.
Nothing. Nothing for you to worry or be suspicious about.
You know that doesn't make you any less suspicious, right?
Whatever could you mean?
She sighs and rolls her eyes fondly. Wait for her to say something, but she is rather busy staring at the couch.
Well, if you excuse me, I'm off to get a snack.
Do you want to sleep with me?
What? That was very abrupt, but sure, of course.
Of course. I would love to. Though I never thought you'd proposition me. Do you treat all your patients like this?
What? You know that's not what I meant.
And why phrase it like that then?
Truly. I was quite looking forward to knowing what all the hubbub was about.
Sizer begins massaging her temples. Your beloved red shirt. Still so bad with words. She grumbles something under her breath that you don't bother to even try and hear. Not going to be flattering for you anyway.
You know what? Forget it.
Aw, goddammit.
What? No, my darling. Forgive me.
Powder reached out to give her a hug and apology. Only before he likes to give up from under you. Catching you before you hit the ground, arms wrapped around your fragile form, would be a surprising amount of strength. You didn't have the pleasure of already knowing her.
This is why I told you to stay in the chair, Salvi.
You smile impulsively and clutch onto them, getting into the excuse of close proximity.
Does the offer still stand?
Only if you stop being so obnoxious about it.
No promises.
Of course.
Lean over their prone form, attempting to grab onto your journal without waking them up. Really, it was kind of your fault for leaving it here in the first place. But who are you to know what they couldn't even wait until after dinner to begin coupling. Suppose it would be distasteful if he wrote in an account of the Guardian's sexual misadventures into his biography. Never mind that he's your best friend. Pointedly avoid looking at both of them as you stretch your arm further, just a bit more.
Salvi?
Well, shit. Chance to look down only to see that they're both awake and looking right at you. Chuckle awkwardly and pull away, trying your damnedest to get out of the situation immediately. But there's a large calloused hand circling your wrist and... Oof.
You're heavy, Salvi. Scoot over.
Gradually your body dragged and slotted in between the two. But how did you end up here?
You're thinking too loud.
Turn your head to Red Shirt. She looks amused, isolated no doubt from your rude awakening.
Should I report you to the council for mind reading now?
She rolls her eyes and scooches over to sling an arm around your waist. At the other side, Dante does the same, hands joining over your stomach.
Go to sleep, Salvi.
Richard's head is at your shoulder, and Dante has taken to burying their face in your neck and... oh. Gosh, you shouldn't get used to this, should you? It was doomed to fail from the start. Broken out of your verse by Red Shirts entering. In her bedroom, hands in your lap as you sit on her bed feeling far too much like a bride waiting for a groom. When you chance to look at Red Shirt, she's dressed in a nightgown that exposed much of her neck and collarbone and, well then. You exhale, averting your gaze from her body. Not the first time you understood why Dante wanted her. Loved her instead of you. Resolved yourself to not look at her the whole night when a lump of cloth hits you in the head. You spot and grab at it. To your surprise, there's another nightgown, tailored to your size and brand new. Oh, I wonder if this is what she's been working on. Look up at her. Apparently you two are the same mind, because she is resolutely looking away as well.
Get dressed. I had your clothes repaired, and they should be ready in the morning.
I can't just undress in front of you.
Say indignant.
Has 3 months turned you into a blushing maiden? I already took off your pants when I first bathed you, Selvi. Besides, I've seen you fleeing butt naked from enough angered spouses to last me a lifetime. But if you truly wish for privacy, then I can make myself scarce.
No, you can stay.
No, it's fine. You can stay.
Breath hitches. Didn't expect that response then.
All right, I'll look away then.
What happened to, I've seen you naked enough times to last me a lifetime?
Those were accidents.
You sure about that?
And bathing me?
Medical emergency.
Always so practical.
Halcyon keeps her back turned towards you. Feeling sure of restraint, if you're honest. If it were you, you would have at least twitched by now. Look at the cloth in your lap and run your fingers over the soft material. Cotton, just like you prefer. Lift it over your head and shimmer it over your body. Careful not to undo any work red shirt did to your torso. You smile. Good fit. That's just big enough to please you immensely. You're just how it settles over your legs for a few moments before slipping your pants off. It's only now, 3 days later, that you realize these aren't actually your pants. Shake your head at your own stupidity. Fold the pants and deposit them by the nightstand.
Are you done?
Quite.
She makes her way over to the other side of the bed, occasionally stealing glances at you, and warms your heart to be reminded that you aren't alone in this. Whatever this is going on between you two, feels nice to be wanted, even if it's not in the way you'd prefer. You know she can't love you in return. Sleep under the covers the same time she does. Another quick spell and the lanterns flicker shut. Back is turned towards you, careful to keep some distance between your bodies, so you turn your back as well. Small bed, barely enough space to keep you apart. You used to reach over, but it's not your place. So keep your hands to yourself, hold it right over your torso, like they had both held you ages ago. Suppose this feeling that you spent far more intimate times with strangers, and your heart never ached at the memory. But the thought of that night alone could have you rolling stones for the rest of eternity. Never did ask you to come sleep with them again. Maybe you smelled. Richard was never fond of floral scents, and you can't help it if you naturally smell like lavender. Probably makes you sound like an overconfident twit, but you're not human, so you get a pass.
Right.
By what?
I told you I loved him. I know you're not seeing each other anymore, but most people would have had a reaction to that. Especially considering I've known both of you for so long.
Okay, turn down the music a bit, because I could barely hear him over the music. There's shuffling behind you, and for a moment it feels as if she couldn't set you alight from her judgment alone.
I always knew.
What?
It's in your eyes, Selvi. The way the two of you looked at each other. I admit, I was jealous at first, before I realized Dante had room in their heart for more than just one.
What do you mean?
Push at your arm until you're forced to look at her. She raises her hand and cups your cheek. Richard's eyes are alight with magic, and you know that you're not alone in this moment. You're leaning into her hand and reveling in the way she runs her thumb across your cheek. Dante sees it. Then it's their own fault, not yours. Rituals are a two-way street. It's no business of yours if they're stupid enough to cross.
Do you really think yourself so unlovable?
They never loved me. As a pet, maybe, but
Looks at you, disappointment clear in her eyes. You know you said the wrong thing. Can't bring yourself to care. Lying her eyes sputters out, and it's enough for you to know you're alone once more. She pulls her hand away, instead placing it over your heart. Doesn't say anything about what you'd just done, but it makes you feel far worse than if she did.
We both know they're an idiot, love.
And isn't that unfair? Calling you that, knowing full well you can't help but listen.
But they're our idiot. For better or worse. We know they're not good with emotions.
Enough to try and kill me? Well,
But they love you. Have loved you for longer than you'll ever know. And I can't believe they're so much of an idiot to let their self-sacrificing nature get in the way of you both.
place your hand over hers and squeeze. Curl some fingers in before intertwining them with yours.
But the question is, do you love them still?
Oof. God, that's definitely a loaded question. I'm gonna probably say no, especially after the fact that they poisoned me, so...
I don't think I can. Not after everything. Will I forgive them? Probably. I already feel that this won't last long, but
No, you mama. I don't think I can. Not after everything. Will I forgive them? Probably. Can already feel that this won't last long, but...
I don't think I can love them like that anymore.
Raises her hand to your lips and presses soft kisses against your knuckles. There's a sadness in her eyes. What for, you're not sure.
I understand. Go to sleep, Selby. Tomorrow, dawn.
Tomorrow. Dawn.
Consciousness drifts off into the night. Wake to rumpled sheets and an empty bed. Space between you is warm, the only sign that you aren't delusional. That what happened last night was real. Rise and rub the sleep from your eyes. Bed's still warm, so you shouldn't be too far gone. Or just went to take a piss or something. Always had a poor blight at that one. Comb your finger through your hair to untangle it and place your tie with a ribbon. With that out of the way, you lay your hand down beside you. Only to be met with a note. Raise it to your eyes and begin to read.
Dante is sentenced to death in 10 days' time.
Says your heart sinks in your chest.
They plan to kill them. To keep the legend alive and burn the soul underneath it. The council has been planning this for months. I should have known. Yet I was too blind from the grief of you to see the noose tightening around our necks. You know I can't let this happen. I hope you can forgive me. Just this once. Thank you for everything, darling. Run. Find your name. Live a life far away from this. You deserve bounds more than the paltry hopes we feed on. If I don't come back, know that I have failed. On the nightstand is my ring. Keep it safe. I love you.
Clutch onto the note and spring forward to your living room. That idiot. That blithering, self-sacrificing fool. All this talk of Dante's failings, and he cannot stop himself from doing the same. I suppose it should come to no surprise that you're all self-sacrificing nitwits. You're the same person would march headfirst into the abyss, as you all had once had. And yet, where your bravery has still led you now. Get to the living room just as he's about to leave through the back door. With a harsh pull, you drag him right back in. Falls down with you on top of him.
You fucking imbecile!
All colour draining from his face, as if he wasn't already deathly pale to begin with. There are tears streaming down your eyes, and you do not care enough to stop them. If he feels guilty over it, then it's his own damn fault. Kneel by his side and grab his collar. Bastard had somehow gotten his clothes back while you were asleep, but you're too incensed to laugh at his strange spikes of competence.
Did you not even once consider that I would want to come with you? That I would want to save one of my best friends?
Yes, you, mouth agape.
You self-sacrificing lot only think of yourselves. I love you, you blithering fool.
Hands fall from his collar onto his chest. Lean forward, your forehead bumping into his.
I can't lose you again.
It's quiet underneath you, heart beating fast against your palms. Being in time with you. Don't know how much time has elapsed, but he lifts his hand to your face, thumb caressing your cheek. Leans in, eyes lidded.
Can I kiss you?
Yes.
Aww. Press his lips against yours, and it's exactly as you imagined it all those years ago. Lips are soft and cloyingly sweet. His skin smells of lavender and morning rain. His hand is in your hair, pulling you closer and closer to him. You are home. You finally come up for air, you collapse into him, arms tangled around his neck.
You already laid down your roots, love. Can't take you from here.
He murmurs, but you know he's already made up his mind despite himself.
My roots. My roots are with you. I thought that would have been obvious by now.
He chuckles, so light and warm, that you can mistake him for the sun itself.
You have buried yours within me, 6 feet deep, and I shall carry them to my grave. I will guard them until nature runs its course.
Breathless, eyes lit with
I'm
want.
sorry for taking so long.
Mutters against your hair, trailing soft kisses along your neck. Cheeky bastard.
You're forgiven. For this, that is. But not for everything else. You have much apologizing to do.
Sabi laughs, and it is bright and breathy and beautiful.
Let's get our friend back.
Yes, I suppose we should.
Oh, that's the end, really? Oh, I wanted more. It was such a good story. I was hoping we'd go and meet with Dante again. Oh well. That was a nice story. I really liked that. Definitely liked the voice acting, although it was really quiet, and when I went to turn down the music, it was all the way up, so... But, yeah. Apart from that, I really enjoyed it. Really loved the storytelling, and really loved the... really loved the characters. Definitely liked the art style as well. They're very, very pretty. But yeah, that was What Remains. Yeah, if you guys want to play this for yourself, I don't know if there's any other endings, but you guys can find out for yourself. Link will be out down in the description below for it, and yeah, we'll be moving on to the next game. Oh, actually, because I just decided to check out the extras and there's something else here. Place your head against the cool surface of your windowsill. Mind racing with thoughts of every single way this could possibly go wrong. This was a terrible plan that you were well aware of, if... Oh, hey then, Dante. Still as creepy as ever. Swallow past the lump in your throat. If that person was here, you'd probably be chastised for even thinking of it to begin with. But you're well aware of the consequences of your actions. It's a risk you're more than willing to take. You breathe in the humid air and let it settle in your lungs. It will rain soon. Inside the room, footsteps land barely there. Music downstairs would drown it out for anyone else, but not for you. Door creaks open and your shoulders go stiff. Dante, are you alright? Tap your fingers against the wall. Once, twice. Salvi approaches but stays a reasonable distance away. Not sure when it happened, but he started to hold back in his affections. It scares you more than you'd like to admit, the thought of losing him. Only constant in your life. But you will lose him. You have to. But he will lose you too, no matter what. Turn to him and your heart aches. He's beautiful underneath the moonlight, dressed in one of his stupid little outfits, exposes far too much of his cleavage again. It's a shame you couldn't be with him tonight. Beckon him closer and there's a visible hesitance that shatters whatever confidence you have left. What are you doing? What have you done? Reach out, handshake, and he walks past it. Nearer and nearer. There's a desperate plea inside of you that wants. When he touches you, it shatters. Salvi's fingers are on your mask, carefully pulling it off from your face. World rushes back in, sounds and light, smell and touch, and brushes a hand against your cheek, and it feels like the world could end all over again. You left early, he murmurs, wiping your tears away. Hadn't even noticed you were crying. You shake your head. Couldn't handle the stimulus? You chuckle. Yes. He nods and sits back, placing the mask on a nearby table. He hesitates again. It's unnatural to see him this quiet. Do you want to dance with me? Looks at your hand, now at your side, then to you. See something in his eyes that you hadn't even noticed was gone. Hope. Your heart sinks. Hope for what? For you? It was a fool to believe that this could be in any other way. You were a fool for believing. Puts on a smile and proceeds to bow with an exaggerated amount of flourish. Well, of course, my dear son saint. It would be my honor. Stop and raise your hand once more. He takes the offer and delicately wraps your hand in his. Well, it's kind of cute for what's about to happen. I'm guessing this is before he got stabbed. Two of you are off. That's with the experience of a man who's done it for years. It carries you along with practice ease. When he smiles at you, it's like the first peak of dawn over the horizon. A little sun twirling in the palm of your hands. Cannot let the council take him away. The world deserves so much more of what he can give. Tongue weighs heavy in your mouth. What do you plan to do? You have a bit more specific, darling. You're planning many things. Shake your head. And all this is over, I mean? After the council? After me? Pauses for a moment, almost making you trip over him. Don't thankfully. What? His laugh voice fragile. Are you going to die soon or something? He remains silent, staring at him until he gets the point. Stares back, indignant, but eventually relents. I don't know, he admits. Cross that bridge when I get to it. Not slowly, of course. Salvi hasn't planned ahead for a single thing in his life. Saya squeezes his hand. You should leave. Stops and the two of you are forced into a standstill. Do not let him go. What? Cast your gaze off to the side, unable to look him in the eye. Pull him closer and let go of his hand to reach for the nape of his neck where both marks lay. You shouldn't stay with me. Pushes at your chest and you can smell the anger rolling off of him and leaves. We already had this conversation, Dante, he hisses. We made a pact, a contract. I'm yours as you are mine. I will not leave. You sigh and press your forehead against his. He stills. Notices the sigils on the floor, then... Dante. No. Trace the marks behind his neck and feel the light of your palm eviscerate the magic underneath. Dante, listen to me. Didn't have to do this. Place a kiss against his forehead. May very well be the last time you ever see him. Don't deserve the sight of his face. War's over, Salvi. There's no more tales to tell. Nearly done erasing the curse on his neck. Pulls at his shirt. Dante, for fuck's sake. His waist breaks. Please look at me in the eye, you bastard. Shake your head. Chokes back a sob. Go, you are no longer needed here. I release you. In a flash of light, he's gone. You are alone once more. You inhale, tears forming at the edges of your eyes. This was the right thing to do. It had to be. You exhale. Lucky enough, the council wouldn't look for him. Hopefully, they'd be too preoccupied with their prize to search for the scraps. Open your eyes and stare at the empty space in front of you. There's no time for tears, and yet you let them fall the same. The world continues to turn. The work is never done. Man, well, that was kind of fucking depressing. But yeah, that was the extra. Makes me wonder what horrible thing he did to make the council want to go after him.